target. My target is to solve Kerala Set Exam 2013. I have marked some questions for me so that I can easily answer. I went through a lot of questions, and yes, there were some questions that even I had to think because the quotations coming from Shakespeare, it's not anybody's cup of tea. You cannot remember all the quotes. सारे कोर्स किसको याद होते हैं? Like if I tell you that I'm a double JRF, I'm an 8-time net. So do I remember all the lines? No, I don't. It's a impossible thing. Maybe it's possible, but I'm not going to that madness kind of level. So technically, to be correct and to give you the right information, I went through all the questions and I'll try my best to give you the answers of these questions. There are certain questions which are easily available in my online audio lectures. I have already taught it. I have already explained it. So repeating, if I already have taught the question, if I know that it is available in online classes, I will not explain it. I will simply tell you that yes, this is in that lecture. Search the writer, find the lecture, and find it. If there is something new, I should tell you something. I will keep adding these things. So this will help me to give you a boost to make you understand that these kind of question papers, how the paper setters are making these papers, making these questions, arranging these questions, and what exactly is there in the mind of those people. Why? Because when a paper setter sets a question paper, he uses his best to go for some relevant questions, some important questions, some significant questions. So if we go through the questions, we can read the mind of the paper setter and we can be sure about the next coming papers. This particular paper, Kerala Set, why I'm solving Kerala Set? Kerala Set has a great bent on Elizabethan literature and it focuses on linguistics. It focuses on grammatical structures. It goes on culture studies. It goes for literary theory. So this particular paper will help us to recheck our own knowledge. And as the series, that we have started the series of solving papers, you will get a lot of set paper, a lot of net papers, solutions of everything. For me, my target for this December, December 2021, is to get around 50 plus solutions, including JNU entrance exams, DU entrance exams, Jamia entrance exams, Punjab University, and BHU entrance exams. So, what you have to do is stick to it, learn the way I solve the paper, and yes, find out the minute things. Okay, so let's start without wasting the time. And to have a better audio, I have switched my fan off, so I'll be doing like this again and again. So this is a raw lecture. And yes, many of you will be thinking that which is this setting. So this is my bedroom study table. My father, my mother, they're there in the photograph, and it's my bedroom study table because you have seen my studio where I sit, where I study, where I record my videos, where I take my live classes. This is where I learn as Vineet Pandey. Here I'm not Vineet Pandey, the teacher. So here, what I learn for me, I'm going to do it for you. So I was testing my knowledge, so I thought let's solve the paper for all of you. So get back. Too much of talking. We are done. Kerala Set 2013. When I will solve the paper, you can also demand the PDF from the online handlers, the people, those who are our assistants. They will give you the PDF. You can find it. So Kerala Set has 120 questions. So the first question goes, in which year was the King James Version of the Bible first published? First question is they are talking about the King James Bible 1611. I have taught this thing in my lecture of Bible that's very easily available. So if you watch my video lectures or you go to my audio lecture, you will find out that there was a committee of 47 scholars set by James I in 1604, and they submitted the Bible in 1611, which was taken to the parliament, which is also known as the authentic Bible, the Bible sanctioned by the parliament, or the most importantly, King James Bible. So this is 1611. Question number 2. To which of the following does Gorboduc belong? So they are saying that Gorboduc belongs to a genre. Option A, morality plays. Option B, Senecan tragedy. Option C, farce. Option D, Aristotelian tragedy. So if you remember my lectures, Elizabethan tragedies, Gorboduc is a first ever tragedy written. Gorboduc has a subtitle, Ferex and Porrex. You know that it's a revenge tragedy. If you just remember, it's a revenge tragedy. You will go to the option B. Option B, says Senecan tragedy. Senecan tragedy means revenge tragedy. And I think I'll have to switch my fan on. It's like causing me a lot of sweat. So I'll be diverted. So just a second. So back to this place. I remember my days when I used to prepare in the room with no cooler at all. And after getting success, I have a bad habit of being in air condition. So you can call it a weakness now. It's really hard to live without AC. So, guys, getting back to the next question. The Parliament of Fowls was written by. So do I need to tell you? Do I really need to tell you this thing? Who has written Parliament of the Fowls? Who is Saint Valentine? What is the gathering of the birds? Do I really need to tell you this? No. But still, I'm telling you. Chaucer. We know that. It's the Italian phase work. The first story, question number 4, the first story in the Canterbury Tales sequence is. So, what is the first story of Canterbury Tales? 5 seconds. Use it. Use your brain. First story in Canterbury Tales. Maybe you're not able to recall, but how many of you remember that Knight was the first storyteller? If you remember that the lots were drawn, and in the lots drawing, Knight became the winner. Knight became the first storyteller. So it's easy. Even if you don't remember the tale, you still remember the Knight. And if you remember the Knight, I have taught you that thing that Knight told the story of Palamon and Arcite based on Boccaccio's Tessida. And I have also taught you in my online lectures that the same story was picked up by Shakespeare in Two Noble Kinsmen. And I have also taught you this thing that Two Noble Kinsmen was written in relationship with John Fletcher. If you are an online student and following it blindly, listening to me completely with dedication, it's an easy paper for you. Go for next one. Question number 5. Who among the following was described as the poet's poet? Do I really need to tell you? Who is called poet's poet? Edmund Spenser. Listen to my lecture. Who is the author of prose romance Arcadia? Again, do I really need to tell you the answer? It is Philip Sidney. Arcadia, New Arcadia. I have taught you this that Philip Sidney wrote it on the request of his widow sister. So I'm sure you will be remembering all these things. And yes, all of these questions already taught in online classes. Question number 7. There is a space, and then a quotation. A thought to Donne was an experience. A thought to John Donne was an experience. It modified his sensibility. Whose words are these? Who said this thing? See, when quotes come, it becomes tough to answer. If you remember the lectures on metaphysical, and if you have seen my videos on sun rising and on his mistress going to bed, you will understand this that it is T.S. Eliot who wrote an essay, The Metaphysical Poets, in 1921. And here he praises Donne for dissociation of sensibility. He also talks about objective correlative, and objective correlative is already dealt in Hamlet and his problems, but he reintroduces it here. And then he talks about Donne praising that a thought to Donne was an experience. Next one. Total's Miscellany is a 16th century collection of what? किस चीज का collection है? So, the collection of options are essays. No. Essays was started by Francis Bacon. Francis Bacon, born 1561, died 1626, introduced essays in the era of 1581. He imitated Montaigne's famous work Essays, and then Francis Bacon wrote his works. Those were published like 1612, 1625, and 1658, like that. These kind of essays were published 1597, 1612, 1625. So no essays. Then short stories. No, short stories became popular in the age of Victorians. Then drama. No, drama was made famous by Shakespeare. Poetic works. Yes, songs, sonnets. So Total's Miscellany is collection of sonnets. And if you remember my lecture, I have directly taught you these things that Total's Miscellany is compiled by Total, a publisher of Elizabethan age. Sonnets of Yat, Surrey, Nicholas Grimald, and there are so many songs. If you remember my lecture, you will get the marks for this. Next question, question number 9. The Chester, York, Wakefield cycle of plays refer to the. These cycles, York, Coventry, Wakefield, Chester, and in the question they have missed Coventry. They have not given the name. So York, Coventry, Chester, Wakefield. I have taught you. I also have taught you the number of plays performed by these groups. I have also explained that there was a day called liturgy. Now the question is that these cycles of plays were related to. The options are Mask, MASQUE. No. Why? Mask became famous by as they were introduced by Ben Jonson, Abraham Cowley, and Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson is very much famous for the mask. He has written a lot of masks in 1608, 1609. Then, second option, morality plays. No, morality plays came later. Number 3, interludes. Interludes came after morality plays. Miracle plays. Yes, miracle plays are closely associated. And miracle plays, mystery plays were performed by the churches. These cycles are the church cycles. So it's an easy answer. And if you simply remember my lecture, then you will not even have to think it. I'm explaining the question, otherwise, you don't have to think. You simply have to say cycles of churches, church performances, obviously, either miracle or mystery. The next one. His laboring brain begets a world of idle fantasies to overreach the devil. This line refers to. He's talking about somebody's brain. एक ऐसा आदमी जिसका दिमाग begets a world of idle fantasies, starts a world of fantasies, starts a new world to overreach the devil. Who is that? It's Faustus. It's for Faustus. Faustus was the one reading everything, challenging the devil, thinking about the new world. So it's Faustus. But yes, I understand that connecting the lines is not easy. So what to do? Read the line, develop a meaning, and then relate with the options. Barabbas, Gavestone, Tamerlane. Gavestone, Tamerlane are the minor characters. Either it can be Barabbas or Faustus. But we are talking about the laboring brain, mehnat karne wala, padhne wala admi. It is Faustus. Laboring brain, the working hard, the person who is working hard. It's Faustus. The next one, question number 11. Who set up the first printing press in England? Do I really need to tell you? No. Do I really need to tell you William Caxton, 1476? No. You have my lectures. Question number 12. Reading makes a full man, conference a ready man, and writing an exact man. Of studies, Francis Bacon. Simple answer. Who has written these lines? Francis Bacon. Don't worry, we will solve net papers in detail, where every question will make us think. Question number 13. John Hayward's importance in English literature lies in his short dramatic space. So technically they are saying that John Hayward, 1497, he was born 1497, death 1580. I have noted it for you. Even I don't remember John Hayward's birth date. He's a minor writer. John Hayward's importance in English literature lies in his short dramatic. Short dramatic. Hayward was actually a playwright. Hayward was a dramatist. But they are giving you the question short dramatic. Short, small, short story kind of thing. And dramatic means short dramas. Now the options we have farce, no. Farces again became famous by Ben Jonson. Poems, no. Hayward was a playwright. Satires, no. Satires became very frequent in Restoration. Interludes. So if you remember my lecture directly, the interlude of 4 P's, right? John Hayward was known for interludes. Short, dramatic performances called interludes. If you remember my lecture, you know the detail. Question number 14. Thomas More's contemplative version of the ideal is presented in contemplative vision of the ideal. Thomas More, vision of the ideal. Just one work, Utopia. The prologue to the modern socialism. Remember my lecture? Prologue to the modern socialism. The book which talks about Renaissance, knowledge, learning, understanding. The first kind of rule book. It's Utopia, written in 1516 in Latin, translated by Ralph Robinson in 1551 under the supervision of D. Erasmus. Next question. Question number 15. Name the 17th century playwright who is also famous as a writer of masque. So I have already answered 17th century playwright. So when we say 17th century, it means 1600 to 1699. 1601 to 1699, 1700. 1700 writer, a playwright famous for masque. So if you have studied Ben Jonson, because there are options like Christopher Marlowe, he simply wrote tragedies and poetries. Robert Greene, only comedies. Thomas Nash, only travelogue kind of stories. Ben Jonson, yes, Ben Jonson was not only a poet, a writer, a critic, a playwright, but also the composer of masque. And Ben Jonson has written two famous masques. It's called Note Karo. Please note it down. Ben Jonson has written two famous masques, MASQE, masquerade, dance performances covering the face with a story and music mixed with a dance performance. This is called masque. It was a system at that time. The Mask of Beauty, 1609, written by Ben Jonson. I have written it for you. Mask of Beauty, 1609. And another work is Hue and Cry After Cupid, HUE, Hue and Cry After Cupid in 1608. These two masks are famously written by Ben Jonson. Question number 16. Thomas Than, George Herbert, Richard Crashaw, Henry Vaughan are collectively called. So, do I really need to tell you George Herbert, for whom Professor Palmer said that it seems he's talking to God face to face? Then Richard Crashaw stepped to the temple. Then Henry Vaughan. Metaphysical poets. Do I really need to tell you the answer? It's metaphysical poets. So these people are related to the metaphysical group. Next question is, which one of the following poems does not make use of carpe diem philosophy? Which poem does not relate to carpe diem philosophy? So let's go to the options. And you will all know Horace. Horace has coined carpe diem philosophy. It means live the day. This is the last day of your life. Do whatever you want to do. To his coy mistress. So is it the right answer? To his coy mistress? So just saying yes, yes, sir. This is the right answer. No. Question says does not. Question says does not. Does not use the carpe diem philosophy. So coy mistress is one of the best work related to the philosophy of carpe diem. What are the opening lines? What are the opening lines of coy mistress? Had we but the world enough, O lady, this coyness were no crime. Thou by the side of Ganges should rubies find, and I by the tide of Humber should let my vegetable love grow, love something like that. So to his coy mistress, wrong answer. Corina's going a Ming, again a wrong answer. Corina's going a Ming is written by Robert Herrick, deals with carpe diem philosophy. To the virgins to make the best of time. To the virgins to make the best of time. Again, it's a philosophy with carpe diem. He says that live your day, be intimate, let's love each other because we will die. You remember the line, gather ye rosebuds while in May, because the same flower that has a fragrance today, tomorrow shall be dying. ये lines पढ़ाई हैं. I have taught these lines in online lecture. So the next option we have is daffodils, Wordsworth. It's not important. Wordsworth wala daffodils. Obviously, it doesn't have carpe diem. Then who among the following was not a part of the group called University Wits? Who is not a member of the group called University Wits? And here we got the answer, Ben Jonson. Because we have Christopher Marlowe, we have Robert Greene, we have George Peele. I have already taught you these things, that 3 Thomas, 3 colors and 1 Marlowe. 3 Thomas, 3 colors, 1 Marlowe. 7 University Wits. Ben Jonson was not a University Wit. It's an easy question for you. After this, we have next writer, Religio. The question is, Religio Medici, Doxia Epidemica, and the Garden of Cyrus are works by Religio Medici, The Religion of a Doctor, Thomas Brown, 1642. Hydrotaphia, Pseudodoxia Epidemica, Thomas Brown, the one who has written Urn Burial, The Vulgar Errors. He is very famous for these things. And having the first answer, you can simply relate Religio Medici 1642. Do you know that everything has been taught in online classes? And then you keep asking, sir, online lectures are enough or not? I have always told you that my lectures are based on papers. I check papers, I develop my lectures. That's why you will find out everything. This is 2013's paper. I started online in 2016. Because when I started teaching, I used to go through all the papers. I have a habit. That's what I'm telling you. Rely upon online lectures. And when you feel that let's complain, oh, he's not giving audios, he's not giving videos, please ask yourself that are you prepared with whatever already I have given? That's important, right? The next one we have is Thomas Hobbes was a. So, who was Thomas Hobbes? A philosopher. 1651 Leviathan. It is already mentioned in my own lecture. That's the right answer. And Hobbes is known as a politician philosopher. The next one. This is the one I didn't teach you. Question number 21. So 20 questions are from online. 21 I didn't teach you. I'll tell you why. The title of Wilson Knight's famous work, The Wheel of Fire, comes from the play. So the title of Wilson Knight's famous work, Wheels of the Fire. Wilson Knight is a writer, but a minor writer, unknown kind of writer. So if I teach you all these things, you will be overburdened. Overburdened. So there are thousands of things which are not very important. But if I teach you all the thousands of things, so you won't be able to remember even the important things. That's why I didn't teach you. So I'll give you the answer. The Wheel of Fire, it's a collection of essays, and the lines are taken from King Lear. It's a line spoken by King Lear himself. King Lear says, "But I am bound upon a wheel of fire that mine own tears do scold like molten lead." This is the line. So simply you can read it. Question number 22. His legs bestrode the ocean. His reared arm crested the world. Who is referred? Antony Cleopatra. When Cleopatra realizes that Antony is dead, she recalls her love. She talks about Antony. Cleopatra is speaking for Mark Antony. Who called Shakespeare an upstart crow? Seriously, do I really need to tell you who said Shakespeare is an upstart crow beautified on our feathers? You know it. Robert Greene, right? Right, you know it, right? पढ़ रहे हो ना पक्का? Groatsworth of Wit, Robert Greene. Don't miss my lectures. Next one. Who plays the character of poor Tom in King Lear? King Lear में कौन? मैंने स्टोरी भेजी है, समरी भेजी है. Who plays the role of Tom? Who becomes a fool and plays the role of Tom? Edgar. Tom O Bedlam. There is a song, Tom O Bedlam. And I'm going to tell you one point that I noted for you. Tom O Bedlam is also a lyric song praised by Harold Bloom. Also a lyric song praised by critic Harold Bloom. Remember Anxiety of Influence? I have given a special lecture. His famous work, How to Read and Why, has a line for this song. The greatest anonymous lyric in the language. The greatest anonymous lyric in the language. Which one of these is not a source of the play Hamlet? So Hamlet has a lot of sources, including Thomas Kidd's Your Hamlet, You Are Hamlet. Many sources. So if I say that, okay, I know all the sources, no. How paper will become easy? The options are Thomas Kidd, obviously he was there. F.D. Belleforest, yes, it's the base for Hamlet. Saxo Grammaticus was the base for Belleforest. Option D is Plutarch. Plutarch's lives inspired Shakespeare to write stories, but only Roman plays. And there are 3 Roman plays: Antony Cleopatra, Julius Caesar, Coriolanus. Hamlet is not a Roman play. Hamlet has no connection with Plutarch. Otherwise, it would have been mentioned. So, the right answer is Plutarch. Question number 26. Which Shakespearean play has 2 sets of identical twin brothers with same names? Identical brothers, 2 set. Prince and prince identical, servant and servant identical. Comedy of errors, one of the shortest comedy, having a slapstick comedy, Charlie Chaplin style. Yes, comedy of errors. It has the a mistaken identity concept. It is set in the Greek city Ephesus, Ephesus. Note it down. Set in the city of Ephesus, Ephesus. Name of the boys, Antipholus, Antipholus. Antipholus, two characters. Dromio, Dromio, two characters. Yes, even I didn't remember the characters, so don't worry. The characters are never asked in net exam. These characters, minor ones. Question number 27. Generally considered to be Shakespeare's final tragedy. Which book is considered Shakespeare's final tragedy? Which book is considered the last tragedy? So, quite simple. The last work is Tempest, but that is a comedy, 1611. Coriolanus was written in 1608. It is considered to be the last tragedy. After this, he stopped writing. It was 1608. Otherwise, we have Macbeth in 1606. But if we just talk about the, if we simply talk about the timings, just remember that this is 1608. In 1608, Coriolanus is the last tragedy. So next one we have is question number 28. Shakespeare collaborated with someone in writing Henry VIII and Two Noble Kinsmen. I explained it by solving another question. John Fletcher, please write it. Henry VIII and Two Noble Kinsmen are written in relation with John Fletcher. Which Shakespearean character is the Moor of Venice? Who is Moor of Venice? Hamlet. King Lear. Look, Moor, if thou hast eyes to see, she has deceived her father and me thee. I've taught you this line. I explained the handkerchief. I've told you this. It's Othello. Question number 30. The first work of Shakespeare to be printed under his own name. First work, 1593, the first ever work, Venus and Adonis. Having his own name, right? Having his own name. Otherwise, he would write and give it to the theaters. So, if you say that there are some plays before this thing, the plays were collectively published in 1623. Before 1623, Shakespeare did not use his name for certain plays. So, please remember that it is 1593, Venus and Adonis. And then in Venus and Adonis, he dedicated it to Henry Ridley, his friend, patron, and said that my next book will be serious, and wrote Rape of Lucrezia in 1594. Comedy of Errors, his first comedy, also came in 1594. Please write it down. The next one. The plays like Pericles, Cymbeline, Tempest, and Winter Tale are generally called. Pericles, Cymbeline, Winter Tale, and Tempest have one thing common. One thing common. They have tragic elements. So they are tragic comedies. Please remember this thing. Question number 32. The notion that Shakespeare's works were better read and studied rather than performed was the part of. Who believed that Shakespeare's plays are better to be read and enjoyed than to be performed? I tell you this thing. The theater performances came to an end, almost came to an end in Victorian era, because people were busy in working hard, making money. This was the duration of industrialization. So most of the people believed in reading. The reading habit got developed. The middle class reading got developed in Victorian age, and most of the people started preferring readings of the book. This is Victorian age, Victorian timings. Question number 33. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. It's the line comes from. So obviously, who remembers the line? Not you, not me. So don't worry. मुझे भी नहीं आता था. I didn't remember that. Most friendship is feigning, most loving mere folly. It's a line from Blow Blow the Winter Wind, a song from As You Like It, sung by Amiens. So just remember Blow Blow the Winter Wind. Question number 34. Name the protagonist referred to in the title of the play, The Merchant of Venice. Who is the Merchant of Venice in Merchant of Venice? Antonio. Another one is Bassanio. Question number 35. A book generally considered to be the last play that Shakespeare wrote. I answered it while talking. The last work by Shakespeare is Tempest, 1611. Quite easy. You know all these things, right? The play within the play in Hamlet is called. The play within the play in Hamlet is called. The same question has been asked in NET exam. Same options were there. The play within the play in Hamlet is called. So I come to the options. The Mousetrap, The Murder of Gunjango. You will say, sir, both are right. Mousetrap is also right. Murder of Gunjango is also right. So what is the right answer? So when you don't understand the answer, always read the question again. The play within the play in Hamlet is called. Play, name of the play, within the play Hamlet is called. Play का नाम क्या है? Murder of Gunjango. This is the right answer. If you think the right answer is Mousetrap, no. Mousetrap is a kind of satirical answer, ironical answer given by Hamlet. When Horatio says that what is this play, he says Mousetrap because Mouse is his uncle. So Hamlet calls as Mousetrap. But the title of the book, title of the play is Murder of Gunjango. So the right answer is Murder of Gunjango. If I have my phone and you say, which brand is this? And I say, it's my Life. So you will not answer that, okay, this is the brand called Life. No, it's OnePlus 8 Pro. So I can call it anything. Hamlet called it Mousetrap. But the real name was The Murder of Gunjango, the play within a play. Remember this point. थोड़ा थक गया बोल के एनर्जी एक्चुअली आई फॉरगॉट वन ऑफ माय माइक जो इस डिवाइस से कनेक्ट होता है आई एम नॉट ओनली विटी इन माई सेल्फ बट द कॉज दैट विट इज इन अदर मैन आई एम नॉट ओनली इंटेलिजेंट बट आई एम ऑल्सो द रीजन ऑफ विट इन अदर्स fools are confident and confident people are always and less confident people are the wise people. So a fool thinks he's a wise man knows he's a fool. This line is applied for false stuff. I am not only witty in myself but the cause that wit is in other men. This is a line by Falstaff in Henry IV part 2. He's a drunkard, dishonest man but important character. Don't forget, I have taught you this, that seeing the character of Falstaff in Henry IV, Elizabeth requested Shakespeare, the Queen Elizabeth, requested Shakespeare to write a story where Falstaff is in love. And Shakespeare wrote Merry Wives of Windsor. I'm sure you remember this. Who actually got, because of lockdown, we have lost the habit of speaking loudly in the class. Question number 38. He was not of an age but for all time. He was not of one age but of ages. This is the line. It's by Ben Jonson, written in the memory of Shakespeare. This is the same poetry where he says that Shakespeare knew small Latin, less Greek. It's a repeatedly asked question. So don't forget, this is a repeatedly asked question. ये बार बार पेपर में आता है. Who said Shakespeare knew small Latin, less Greek? Ben Jonson. Who said he was not of one age but of all ages? Ben Jonson. Which critic wrote the Elizabethan world picture? So don't worry, even I didn't know that, and it's not important. So I'm giving you the right answer. E.M.W. Tilliard. You can find it, but no need to read. No need to read. There are hundreds of people, they have written something on Shakespeare. Question number 40. In which year was Shakespeare's sonnet first published as a quarto edition? Shakespeare के sonnet पहली बार कब publish हुए? So I have taught you this thing. All the sonnets of Shakespeare got published by Thomas Thorpe in 1609. Don't forget. Which famous poem opens with the words of man's first disobedience of the man? Paradise Lost, right? Thackeray's Vanity Fair is a novel without hero. Vanity Fair has taken title from Pilgrim's Progress. We know that. It's a kind of trouble in between Christian going to meet Christ. Christian has taken the journey. It's the journey to Jerusalem. A lot of destructions came. One destruction was Vanity Fair. Title taken by W.M. Thackeray for his novel. A Novel Without Hero, Vanity Fair, 1847. Remember these things. Question number 43. The Seasons and the Castle of Indolence are the poems written by James Thomson. Seasons 1730. Castle of Indolence 1748. I asked you the questions in quizzes also. That in Castle of Indolence, who is Indolence? Indolence is a dragon. Question number 44. I'm tired. I will stop it at 50. Question number 44. Which poet was described as the Pilgrim of Eternity by Shelley? This is a beautiful line, the Pilgrim of Eternity, taken from Adonis, written in 1821, dedicated to Keats and Chatterton. He's talking about John Keats. Next question. Who among these was not a lake poet? So Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Southey are called lake poets. So let's see who is the exception. The exception is Shelley. So yes, Shelley was not a lake poet. So who are the lake poets? Wordsworth, Coleridge, and Southey. Always remember. Question number 46. Fra Lippo Lippi, Caliban upon Stebos, Porphyria's lovers are allegories, lyrical poems? No. Dramatic monologues. Remember my lecture on Browning. Dramatic monologue. Question number 47. The Spectator and Tetler were written by Addison and Steele. I've told you the complete story. 1709 it started, ended 1711. Then again 1711 Spectator started with 60,000 copies sold in England, a world record. Question number 48. Cold Pastoral is a famous romantic poem reference. Who uses the word cold pastoral? See, this is oxymoron. Cold is not able to speak up, peaceful, and pastoral, a song. This is used in Ode to Grecian Urn. Question number 49. Who is the author of Confessions of an English Opium Eater and Suspiria de Profundis? Again, I have taught this thing. This is very easy. Thomas de Quincey. Thomas de Quincey. On the Knocking on the Gate in Macbeth, he has written it. Question number 50. Who is Ilya? Ilya was the pen name of Charles Lamb. So right answer is Charles Lamb. So question number 50, I am stopping, kind of, speaking loudly, so having some pain. And I think it's enough for you so that you can write down a lot of other things. So we'll go for part 2. Part 2 soon. We'll solve this paper. Then I have the another paper. And I also have got the MPhil and PhD entrance of JNU. So we'll be solving all these things. Stay connected. And yes, if your friends are looking for a guidance, looking for a class, and you want to help your friend, then connect your friend with us. And all the students who want all these facts easily available, all these facts are in the notes. आपको notes में सब मिल जाएगा. This paper, 90% content is as it is on the notes. It will help you to mug up, to be prepared, so that you can also solve the paper when you go to the exam. Thank you so much and enjoy learning. I will do paper solving here only in this table. So take care. God bless you.